Hi, my name is John Peña and I live in El Paso, Texas. Hi, and welcome to Living in El Paso, Texas. Thanks for checking out the episode. My name is John Peña, and I'm a real estate agent here in El Paso. And in this episode, we're going to talk about the rec center. This is actually my local rec center. It's really very, very close to me. And we have rec centers all over El Paso, which are just fantastic because they encourage health, wellness, fitness, exercising your dogs. We've got skate parks, indoor pools that are now closed because of the pandemic, but will eventually reopen. Softball, soccer fields. This actually has a little mountain biking trail that's pretty great. So wanted to talk a little bit about my dog park, my rec center. To me, it's a dog park. And additionally, I wanted to start a new feature on the channel. Basically, it's a map to help people really kind of familiarize themselves with the town. Because if you're relocating to El Paso, or maybe you've been stationed at Fort Bliss, maybe you're looking for a great place to retire, if you're considering a move to a new city, one of the things you want to know is you want to know like where the different areas are, like where the neighborhoods are, how the city is laid out. Is there an east side, a north side? And to help you do that, I'm going to start to introduce this map and kind of show you the different areas around town. As a real estate agent, it's my goal to bring you as much value as I possibly can, so I hope that this does that for you. We're going to check out Horizon City, we're going to check out Transmountain, and hopefully you'll get a better idea of what's going on. We've got a couple more odds and ends from the week, and with that, let's get going. Okay, so this is the map that we're going to use, and it's taken from Google Earth. And so this is obviously an aerial view of El Paso. And I was going to first kind of see, can you identify where the Rio Grande River is? Do you think you can identify where the Franklin Mountains are? If you're really sharp, you might be able to pick out I-10. Do you know where downtown is? And next, so these are some overlays. So you can see now, I've put in the Rio Grande River there is in blue, and that point up in the upper left where it says Rio Grande River becomes the border, that's where the Rio Grande River becomes the border. As you can see, now I've got the Franklin Mountains coming in there. I-10 you can see is in green. And finally, downtown is right there, that orange block. So now we are zoomed out a little bit more. So I've taken away some of the guides because I'm hoping that you're going to start to kind of recognize some of these landmarks on your own. So I still have on the left there that divide between Mexico and New Mexico. Those lines above New Mexico, those are such rough guides because actually that border between New Mexico and Texas there is super windy and it goes all over the place. So that is a very loose interpretation of the border between New Mexico and Texas. But what you can see in this slide, if you look to the far top right, now you are starting to see Fort Bliss and our airport there. So that distinctly more. So now zoomed out a little bit more, now you can really see Fort Bliss and the airport. The airport is directly kind of south and a little bit east of Fort Bliss. Fort Bliss, you can see it's like a dull arrowhead pointing to the southwest, more or less. So where the light brown coloring is, that is Fort Bliss. It is pretty epically large, and it's a desert, so there's a lot of space to be had out there. And now you can start to also see that the east side is a lot bigger than the west side. So hopefully you can still see the Franklin Mountains running north-south there, almost in the middle of the map, a little to the left. But the east side, including Fort Bliss, the airport, all of that is definitely a little bit larger. So when you're looking at listings, this is why. There's just more land mass over here. Zoomed out even further now you can see where the far east is. This is an area actually I was just in this week with a client looking for homes, and there's a fire department in the far east, just for a little visual there. And Horizon City, bottom right hand corner. Now we zoom out, and there is Horizon City. And up in the top of the screen is also Transmountain Highway. This is actually a highway that connects the northeast to the west side that goes through the mountains, and I'm going to show you that here pretty soon. So now, using the map kind of as a guide, I'm going to go ahead and show you some footage that I recently took this week in Horizon City. Okay, Horizon City off of Paso Texas. This is why Horizon City, I've discovered, is so popular, is because there's a lot of new construction over here, and since the lots are probably significantly cheaper for the builders to acquire, that means that the homes are priced less. So we're gonna check this one out. So this is Horizon City. The makings of a park to be. You can tell they've outlined the trails and where the grass will go and everything like that. So that'll be a park. It's nice that they're keeping some open green space there, not just crowding them in with homes. So this is the park right by Horizon City development. It's done, not just in the planning stage. Paseo del Este and Emerald Park. My recreation center right by my house is called the Don Haskins Recreation Center. You can see it here. Most of them have an actual building, but with the pandemic, they've obviously been shut down. So I actually have not been inside this one, but I did snoop around on the internet, and they have a nice fitness area, weight machines, free weights, all sorts of gym equipment, showers, look super clean. They have basketball courts. So this is part of the Texas Local Park Grant Project. I guess it's funded in part from the state sales tax on sporting goods. Our Texas Parks and Wildlife Services hard at work. So this place is great. It has mountain bike trails, hiking trails, running, jogging trails. I mean, there's a lot of open space here to explore. So there is plenty of open space. I believe this space is usually used for soccer fields. As you can imagine, there's a lot of people into soccer. They might call it football, or even actually American football too happens. Baseball, softball, plenty of little league teams and all of that when it's not a global pandemic. Playgrounds, lots of new equipment, covered picnic areas for people, cool rocks you can sit on, and it's all kind of surrounded in this big sort of canyon space. So that's all been pretty spectacular. I didn't even know this was over here. This is an actual spray park, and we are into the beginning of November, and so it's not really spray park weather, quite honestly, except it has been in the 80s. But anyway, with the pandemic, this is shut down. And if you're younger, this probably is really maybe exciting for you. We have got our very own skate park. This is one of a number. There are at least 2 or 3 other skate parks around the area. This just happens to be the one near me. Last but not least, we have a pretty epic dog park. They even actually kind of close one off and let it breathe and let the grass come back, and they have an extra one to go. So it's nice. Big dog park and a small dog park.
Hey. Help it. Come here, buddy. Come here. It smells so good though, huh?
It's getting a hard sniff.
Yeah, it's a hard sniff.
Hard sniff.
Hard sniff.
The rec center is fantastic. Can't say enough good things about that. And just to really bring home this map idea, so Transmountain here is a road within the Franklin Mountains, and you can go from the west side to the northeast. You can see it's pretty windy here. It's been under construction for a long time, but whenever that gets finished up, I think it's going to be fantastic. So I'm hoping that this map brings some value to you and helps you better understand the area. That's about it for the episode. Thanks so much for checking us out. Really wanted to start using that map just because a lot of people, it's hard to buy a house when you aren't that familiar with the area and the geography. So I'm hoping that this will kind of help out. A lot of people are always interested in the weather, so I'm going to try to give a little weather update every week. This is November 6th, Friday that I'm talking on. Today the high was 82, low of 55. It's been sunny and I'd say low 80s all week. Great. Next week, this coming Sunday though, a cold front's going to come through, and by Monday we're going to have a high of 63 and a low of 37. So, like in that last video, sometimes it does cool off, but then it usually recovers and the weather ends up being pretty great. So just threw in a little bit of last footage, just actually had some people kind of just curious about what the ground cover is like. So this is over on the west side, kind of close to where I live there. There's our Franklin Mountains that we drove through earlier. So got a couple of fun ideas coming up. If you have any ideas for episodes, please let me know. If you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you a clip of some off-roading. So quads, if you know what those are, they're like big souped up ATVs. They're pretty popular here, and there's a lot of like dunes and kind of rocky trails, sand dunes, all sorts of terrain that you can go off-roading on. So I captured some at the end. I'm going to put it up here, but this week I'm going to try and go find somebody to see if they'll give me a ride and get on the video. So thanks so much, everybody. Can't wait to talk to you next time. If you're looking for a real estate agent, you know who to call. 915-355-3477, or hit me up on email, john@peñaelpaso.com. Thanks. We'll see you next time. All right, this is one of the things that people do around Horizon City or even the east or anywhere, but a lot of people are into quads, and a lot of the area around here, like we're kind of in the Horizon off of I-10 kind of area, and there's a lot of this kind of open space, and it isn't really ripe for the development perhaps, but a lot of it is kind of like dirt roads and trails, and so it's totally cool. You can see all the tire marks and everything, but if you have a truck or a vehicle that can get through there and not get stuck, you can basically drive around in there. Quads, tear it up in there just like this guy is in the background. People love driving things up and down hills, and that probably doesn't look very substantial from here, but trust me, once you get over there, and you're in your quad tearing up that thing at that angle, you might feel differently. So pretty fun if you're into that. I hope that dog pretty well from that. Oh, that dog doesn't have COVID, so I'm definitely gonna have it.